darker, that's when a hot spot pops up in some of the less populous counties.
And thank you for tuning in today after the press conference with Governor Doug Burgum. I have with me today Carmen and Mary, and Andre is going to be joining us from Florida in just a little bit. So let's talk about the press conference. Good news, right?
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so if anyone shows up, say 10 minutes late for your job, right? I mean, come on. It's like everyone knew the press conference is coming up, but yet he still shows up 10 minutes late. I mean, I just don't understand that. I get it, but you know what? Everybody has an important place to be or something to do today. People are waiting. Thousands of people are waiting for the press conference, and you show up 10 minutes late.
I do find that a little odd, because that's like a lot of people are sticklers to be just on time or be early. What's the saying? If you're not early, you're late.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What is it if you're late?
No.
Well, I'll just speak for myself. I'm late a lot. But also,
but if you
I'm
were
not the
giving a
governor.
press conference, you would be there. You've
I
never been
probably
late.
would.
You've
I've
never been late
to
for
a
work.
show.
Yeah.
Come on.
But, you know, by the same token, though, there's probably a lot of our viewers. I mean, how many people cut slack to Trump when it was supposed to be, you know, he's coming on at this time.
That's true.
And it would be sometimes 20 minutes, half hour, I don't know.
Okay.
But, you know, anyway.
But he's
not
I think
President
it's-
Trump.
I think it's disrespectful.
Future show. We will talk about being late, being on time, procrastination. That'll be a good topic for another show. But the good news is we are at the bottom of the list of positivity rates.
Yeah.
And we've been rated second safest state in the country when it comes to all things COVID.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I will too. And one of the things that I picked up towards the end of what I was listening to, so, and we've had it in our own family. One of the extended family members for me passed away with COVID, not from COVID, but you know, it has hit so many households, and it's heartbreaking. However, what the governor said, and I'll have to go back and double check it, but I wrote it as he said it. He said we have 1,429 people that have passed away with COVID in our state since this started last year. And we've had 96,000 people recover from COVID. I don't understand those numbers spelling pandemic. I just don't. I can't fathom how we had to go through, especially restaurants, motels, you know, bars, all those service industries that had to go through, pardon my French, but hell, because they had to be shut down, and they could only be open certain hours, and you can only have so many people inside, and on and on and on. Those numbers do not spell pandemic hysteria to me. And I'm sorry, but I've had enough of this whole thing. I really have.
If you recall, was it last fall? It might have been November. I don't know for sure if I got the month right. But we stopped hearing that they had underlying issues because people weren't taking it seriously enough. But there is a difference between dying with COVID and dying from COVID.
Exactly.
And so that's why when I don't like to play the numbers game, because I don't really know what it means.
Well, and here's the crazy part. Gosh, maybe a month ago, I called the North Dakota Department of Health and I asked for what the deaths are in the state, you know, for different illnesses. And they says, well, we don't know. And it's like, well, can you give me a rough estimate? She goes, oh no, we don't give estimates. And it's like, I said, well, people are really curious how many have died from the flu or from bronchitis, car accidents, whatever.
Heart
she
disease.
Said, yeah, she said, I can't give you that figure. We won't know the final figure until July. And how can you not know the final figure till July, but yet they have these updates on the COVID deaths? If you know how many people are dying from COVID, you know how many people are dying from other diseases.
Exactly.
And so stop lying to us. Just get us the truth, get us what we want, and let's put all of this behind us.
Well, the reason they have those numbers right away is regardless of what you died from, they test, and if you had COVID, you get marked as a COVID death. That's why we stopped hearing about underlying issues, because they got marked as COVID deaths.
And I'm sorry, but it all comes down to this.
It's
money,
all about
honey,
money.
honey, and how much the feds are going to give you, and let's see how
But
we
that's
spend
taxpayer
it.
money. That's
Exactly.
that's not federal money. That
Exactly.
is your money,
Exactly.
our money, and they're trickling it to where?
Exactly.
I don't get
Into
it.
billboards that tell us to be guilty if we don't wear a mask. Well, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm just
And now
done.
the CDC wants us to double up on masks. They doubled down today. They made a new announcement that you must wear 2 masks. It's like, like, what is really going on?
Right.
I'm not
Well, and then the other
getting
piece
it.
is get your shots, take two.
Oh,
two.
and
They're
he
small.
mentioned life-saving vaccine.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said, get the life-saving vaccine.
Right, and yet they turn right around and say, no, if you get the vaccines, you still have to mask, you still have to distance, you still have to use all the protocols that are in place. It's like, what's the point of the vaccine then? Oh, the only thing I've ever heard was, well, you won't get as sick if you catch COVID. It's like, that's lunacy.
I'm
That is
having a problem
lunacy.
because we already had COVID, and I'm getting pressured from people that I need to have the vaccine.
You
That-
have
and-
antibodies in your system.
No, they're arguing with me that
Nope.
I don't. That
We
I know.
had
You
an
don't have to tell me.
immunologist on this
Yep,
show,
we
and
did.
she said that once you have it, you have that in your system.
Right.
Right.
It's there forever. It's not there for 3 months. It's in there forever.
But people that already had it are being pressured. And I want to make the point, because we don't have much time, I want to make the point that we are one of the highest with low rates now. We're one of the best in the country. But we were criticized because I have a family all over the country, and somebody that lives in another country too, that said, what's going on in North Dakota? Look how high your rate is. Look, we're one of the lowest in the country, and we did not shut down like other countries did. We did early on, but look at California. It has never opened up yet. And yet we have a lower rate than they do now.
They just want everyone dependent on government taxpayer money. But if nobody's working, who's paying into it?
Right.
You know, where are they going to get the taxes if people aren't spending money or making money? Where is the government coming up with all this money to give government handouts?
Just print more.
It's ridiculous. We have got to stand up to this. This is enough. Enough is enough.
Exactly.
And going forward, whatever happens, because they talk about, mutant strains and the virus is mutating, we cannot close again. People need to not stand for that.
Well, what options? And then he made some comment about how the feds had control of who got to visit and how the visits went in nursing homes. Please explain that to me. I'd love our viewers, if you know the answer to that, where was that Fed control? What did it control? Did it control each and every nursing home, each and other, every assisted living? Who determined who could visit and when and how? That's what I really want to know, because there's so many conflicting stories that I've gotten, and I just want truth. That's all I want.
Absolutely. And yesterday it was announced that they might have, with the second strain that's coming out, you might have to prove that you're COVID-free to get on a domestic flight.
Yep.
And so it's hammering down on every level.
And how many states are going to wind up having border patrols where you're not going to drive through their state unless you can produce your papers that you've had a COVID shot? That's
I'm worried.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I am.
But here's
really
the
worried
deal.
about that.
Patty, we can earn, someone out here can get $1,000 if they just tune into our show tomorrow.
That's the good
Yeah.
news.
That's great
Tune
news.
in tomorrow and contact us on Facebook, text us. Look at all the ways. So many ways. There's no reason not to enter this
Someone's
contest
going to
tomorrow.
walk away with $1,000.
$1,000. Yep.
You don't have to wear a mask
Absolutely.
to claim it. If you
No.
come to the studio to get it, you
No
don't need a
questions
mask.
asked.
But you
Just-
do it
just
while the
give us
show's
your
on.
name.
Yes.
So
While the show's on.
when we come back, we're going to be visiting with leader of the House, Representative Chet Pollard. When we come right back after these messages with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
Heroes and Icons is now Cozy TV. Don't worry, you'll still get your favorite Beck News programming without changing the channel. Real people, real news, Beck News.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather, like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners,
It's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And we have with us today in studio the House Majority Leader Chet Pollard. And as usual, we have Mary and Carmen. And in Florida, we have Andrea joining us. Thank you for joining us today, because we always like to know what's going on in the legislature. But before we get into some of the bills you're involved in, can you explain to our audience what is the difference between a House Leader and the Speaker of the House?
It's a little different. Oh, first off, thank you for inviting me here today. I look forward to the conversation. North Dakota is a little different than the majority of the states. In the majority of the states, the Speaker of the House has the most authority. In North Dakota, it's the other way around. The House Majority Leader or the Senate Majority Leader selects the committee chairman, the vice chairman, and we run the procedures for the floor, whereas and we also do most of the committee assignments and such as that. Now, in North Dakota, the Speaker of the House, he runs the floor. So when we're on the floor doing the debates, Speaker Kim Koppelman, he's doing all that. He's actually doing a very good job. He's got a good demeanor, the way he brings it forward. He will do some assignments of folks during the interim, and then I will do more of that from the House perspective. Like I said, I select the committee chairs and the committee vice chairs, and then there would be a committee that works with selecting the other members to be on the committee. So it all depends on which particular part, you know. So and there's rules and procedures that works that whole thing, and we have books for the House and the Senate, and we have joint rules. Just like the mask rules and everything we're working on with COVID-19 right now. So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting that it's unique to North Dakota. I didn't realize that. So you're unique.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm unique, but that particular role is unique, yes.
Your role is. Okay. When I asked you what you wanted to talk about, you said House Bill 1452, and that has to do with Clean Sustainable Energy Authority. Can you explain to us what that's about?
You know, I guess what I'd like to do is talk about it as a whole, because I think this legislative session, we need to be working. There's things dealing with the coal industry that we need to do. I'm one of those folks who believes that coal is our base energy. If we have a reliability, we've got to make sure, whether it's an ethanol plant or whether it's you folks at home, that we know that when they want power, that you'll hit that switch and it's going to work even if it's 30, 40 below. Now, I'm not trying to put the fear into anybody, but coal, oil, natural gas is a reliable baseload energy, whereas when you're talking green energy, that's not quite that way. I mean, the wind's got to blow for wind energy, the sun's got to shine for solar energy. I do agree it's part of the whole package, but I believe coal, especially here and with what we're going through with Coal Creek Station, that's our base load of power, and I think North Dakota needs to remember that.
Right, right. And the price of coal versus some of these other forms of energy, if you take that out of the equation when we get our MDU bills and I mean, the costs automatically are going to have to go up, right, for the supply of energy if we haven't got coal in place to do what it does?
What I'll say about that is Washington, D.C. has done production tax credits, which makes wind energy very competitive, and that's what's going on right now. So it's actually, you know, more viable for that. But if you would take that away, then coal is still going to be there. And so what we're saying, what I'm saying, and others are saying, no, we need to have this all as one package. You know, I think right now, I think wind energy is somewhere around 30% or green energy is. And of course, North Dakota is a very big energy state. And so we export our energy. But if you're going to go into the state of Minnesota, they have green mandates. And so you've got to have so much green on that line in order to export, like the line coming out of Coal Creek Station, which is going down to near Minneapolis. There's got to be green in there. And that's where solar comes from. That's where wind comes from. So, but we're an export state. So we have to keep that in mind, you know, and so Minnesota is a customer, and Great River Energy brings that product over there now. So it's a problem we have to deal with right now.
So that I've heard that the towers, the wind towers, they're subsidized to the tune of about $1 million a piece. Is there any truth to that?
I couldn't give you those figures, but they are, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they gotta get a lot of wind blowing before we cover that first $1 million before they actually start making energy, in a sense, or how does that work?
You know, I really couldn't talk to you about the dollar values of the wind towers. There's no doubt that those wind towers on agricultural, on farmers' property, that brings a secondary source of income to those farmers with wind towers.
Spend it right here in the state.
You know,
right,
and then of course there's people who those jobs are providing, setting up those wind towers, but you know, it's not as much as running a coal-fired plant like up in Coal Creek Station.
And I know you mentioned that you're trying to save maybe 500 or 600 jobs, right?
I would say at least that many.
At least. What's at risk here?
I think it's important for the state of North Dakota for us to have coal as our baseline power, and part of that is to help with those jobs up there through North American Coal, running it through Coal Creek Station, and that's what we're trying to do. And House Bill 1452 helps deal with that with a full low carbon program, because right now you can't get the money now. It's 45G, but you get so much money per ton if you can do low carbon, if you can do carbon sequestration, carbon capture, and that's what we're trying to get done during this legislative session, is to come forward with a plan. Part of that plan is going to be dealing with sales tax on the production of coal, and it's going to be also dealing with a loan program so we can try to do carbon sequestration with Minnesota Power. That's part of it. It's a whole package for us to prove that we can do carbon sequestration, for us to go ahead and allow to have Coal Creek stay running. You know, that's part, but it's not only Coal Creek Station, it's the other coal-fired plants that we have in the state. They're watching what's happening here, not only North Dakota. There's a lot of of our neighboring states are watching this because West Virginia, as an example,
Sure,
got coal.
yeah.
Wyoming has coal.
Right.
So people are watching, and so there's a whole lot of steps going on here right now.
I just remember when Hillary Clinton had said she was going to put the coal miners out of business. We
Right,
only have
so-
a few seconds
yeah,
left. But
before we go to the break, I want to remind people that tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to have a contest. You can win $1,000, and it's easy to do it during our show. You can go through Facebook, send us a message, a tweet, TikTok, Instagram, email, website, phone number, all these different ways you can contact us during the show, and you will be entered in a chance to win $1,000, so you don't want to miss tomorrow. We'll be right back after these messages with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
In southwestern and south central North Dakota, on any given day at any given moment, a Dakota Community Bank and Trust customer is logging in or signing on to do their online or mobile banking. We believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service in-house and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our customers anywhere, like here or here, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
The experienced professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless, and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Win $1,000 from the Beck News Fast Cash Contest. On Thursday, February 11th, watch Beck News programming to be entered to win $1,000. Watch Dr. Duke at 4, Ladies of Another View at 4:30, Down the Road with Joel at 5:30, No Apologies with Becker at 9, and No Filter with Debbie at 10. To enter, contact us during any show on Thursday in one of the following methods. That's it. Visit beck.news for the full contest rules and showtimes. Beck News Fast Cash for $1,000.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We've been joined with Representative Leader Chet Pollard, and we've been talking about the energy situation. He tends to be involved in the energy and budgeting bills, but right now, Andrea is with us from Florida. She has a question.
Hi, Representative Pollard. My question is, what threats do you see to coal energy this session?
Threats. One of our things that we have to address during this legislative session is making sure we have the dollars and the programs in place for us to allow for our programs. As an example, with Minn Kota, that's going to take a $200 to $250 million investment for us to do this carbon sequestration. So it's important for us to deal with that. And also the extraction tax on coal. It's around $35 million is what this is going to cost us. So we've got to have those things in place for us to help save this coal industry. That's my opinion.
Okay, so that $250 million that you mentioned, where does that come from? Is the state investing in that or investors investing in that? I mean, I'm really naive when it comes to that, so I just don't know where's that coming from.
What we would basically do would be providing a loan program set up for Minn Kota, and then when it comes to the payments, federal government in Washington and Senator Hoeven has been very crucial to this, is you can get, I think it's around $45 or $50 a ton to help. So once that money comes in with what they're saving, that money would go to pay off the loan.
Oh, okay.
So, but we've got to be able to carry them so they can start this process to get going, because that wouldn't happen for about 3 years.
And isn't there also with Minn Kota, that's kind of my old stomping grounds, isn't there a carbon capture plant or something going in right now that they're working on?
Yeah, it's called Project Tundra. Yep. So
And
all
what
this
is
is
that?
part of that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All that's part of it, because Washington has set up a low carbon program. So, and with coal, and with our studies through the EERC out of Grand Forks, we're hoping to prove to the nation and to the world that we can provide this stuff and provide a low carbon power so we can still keep coal moving. And in North Dakota, that's what's important for us.
Sure.
Can I just ask, you know, for many years it was all about air quality, air quality, air quality. And then when you look at the score that we were getting from the American Lung Association, we were like 150% clean air, you know? I mean, they always ranked us so high. So is that conversation kind of gone now, and it's all about the carbon capture? That's not necessarily clean air so much as
I would say
don't understand.
That hasn't gone away, that is still out there. But if you take a look at the Department of Environmental Quality, that's what deals with these air standards in North Dakota, and with the billions of dollars that these power plants have had to invest in these plants.
Right.
And that's what they've done, and that's why North Dakota's environment and air quality is so good. There's billions of dollars involved that these companies have put into these plants. And we want to continue that forward. And Coal Creek is one of those modern plants that has continued to update. And so this is just another part of the process that Washington has provided for us, that we hope we can prove to do this, like I said, for us to continue down this path.
Right. And when you're saying that Washington could send dollars for the payback of this money, is that what I understood? The 45?
Yeah, it's called 45Q.
Okay.
But it's a payment per ton.
Okay.
That helps pay for us. It's kind of an incentive to do carbon capture. It gives us an avenue for that.
Okay. And do we have any kind of guarantee that there isn't some way then that we get this all implemented, and then Washington can say, oh, you know what, we've decided we don't want to spend that, so we're not going to give it to you? I mean,
Well, let's hope not. We've got Senator Hoeven, Senator Kramer, Congressman Armstrong, who are big advocates for North Dakota for this, but we're not the only state. So, but they've been very instrumental on helping keeping these programs live. But yeah, it's a never-ending battle.
That was my question too. I thought, okay, could you go through all this? And it's a very complicated bill. I think it's the most complicated one we've talked about thus far on this show. That could the federal government, in effect, sabotage what you set up? But are other states then working on similar bills, and do you share information with one another?
I honestly could answer that. I think we're one of the first states dealing with this, so we're kind of clearing the path, hopefully. So I think this will help other states, and that's why they're watching. So there is a commitment, I feel, from the North Dakota House and the Senate to have this working forward, as well as the executive branch as well. because they realize how important Coal Creek Station, but like I said, this isn't only about Coal Creek Station. This is about all our other coal-fired plants that are in the state, you know, in Center, Stanton, such as that.
And it sounds like then there's a big focus on coal this session, but also are you involved then in the oil side of things as well, because there's so much going on in that part of it as well for our state's soundness, I guess?
Yeah, I'm talking about coal a lot here, but our revenues and everything are really dependent on the western third of the state with our oil production. And if you've seen the executive budgets and our budgets that we're working with, oil is now up around $58 WTI, which is around $50, $52 back here. But that's why all this stuff is important, because we still need our oil production also going well, but that production levels dropped down to about 1.2, and we are about 1.4, 1.45 million barrels a day. So right now, with COVID-19, airplanes aren't flying as much. All this stuff has an effect, and it has effect on our budgets as well. So that's why it's important for us, as far as I feel, for the state to be concentrating on oil, gas, coal.
Right.
But we also can't forget wind is all part of this, because in order for us to be an exporting state, which we are, green energy has to be part of that mix. Yep. And it does have to be, or else it's kind of like farmers. If we just had the ethanol plants and the soybean plants and the state mill and the elevator and that, we wouldn't be doing very well price-wise. We're exporting as well as for our grains. And so our energy sector isn't any different, and that's why DAPL's important for us as well, because that stuff is moving down the line. If we have that shut down, that's probably going to cost us another $5 to $8 a barrel that we're going to lose as revenue.
Wow.
Well, I want to thank you, Representative Pollard, for coming today, because it's really been informative, and a lot of us, it's kind of hard to figure out how to navigate this on our own. And you can look at the bills and see what's going on if you go to legis.nd.gov. And also, if you're watching, I'd like you to enter the contest tomorrow to win $1,000. And there's a number of different ways you can contact us. You can call us or email, Facebook, all the different ways you see on the screen. Text us. But you must contact us during the show. So once again, thank you for joining us, Representative Pollard, and good luck with the rest of the session.
And we hope to see you again. If something comes up and you feel the need to let us know something, we would love to have you back.
Yes.
You know, if you want me back at some time after crossover, I would gladly give you an update of what's been going on with that and with the budget as well, because there's a lot more I could have talked about with our energy partners and that.
We'll plan on it. We'll have you back after crossover.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Howdy folks, it's the County Line Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Bossin' breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous County Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon rattling pie with a combo roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the game. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the County Line.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink for trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Win $1,000 from the Beck News Fast Cash Contest. On Thursday, February 11th, watch Beck News programming to be entered to win $1,000. Watch Dr. Duke at 4, Ladies of Another View at 4:30, Down the Road with Joel at 5:30, No Apologies with Becker at 9, and No Filter with Debbie at 10. To enter, contact us during any show on Thursday in one of the following methods. That's it. Visit Beck.News for the full contest rules and showtimes. Beck News Fast Cash for $1,000.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And we're going to talk about this impeachment trial. Once again, what is this, our third impeachment trial? They just can't get enough.
Well, and it's the whole thing. They're just so worried that Trump is going to run for president in 2024, and that's the only reason why they're doing it.
You know what?
Yes.
I might disagree with that. I think the reason they're doing it is because every network's ratings that they had going with Trump in office tanked when he left. And it's like, we got to have some kind of theater going on here, and Trump's our guy.
But do you think anyone's watching it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
know.
I don't know.
And I know it's too difficult for me because
Yeah.
I would have to, I have to get a spongy brick if I'm going to turn on the TV for this one.
Yeah, and it is.
But we do stream it on Beck. So we have to remember that if you're going to watch it here.
Watch it on Beck.
And you do need, it is hard at times, but you know, there's a lot going on. Let's go, Ted Cruz made some comments about it yesterday because it just opened up yesterday. And I think they're afraid of Trump and they're so conditioned to complain about him. They just got to keep that going.
But this is going to be just venting the id of the Democrats. And then it's going to end with failure. It is going to end with the president being acquitted. In order for the president to be convicted, it takes 67 votes in the U.S. Senate. That's not going to happen. It's not going to get 67 votes. It's not going to get close to 67 votes. Every one of the 100 senators knows that. Every one of the House managers knows that. But this is political theater because rather than address the real problems, the real challenges we have in this country, rather than focus on getting kids back in school and getting tens of millions of Americans back to work, the Democrats want a week of just political theater raging at Donald Trump. You noted quite rightly that the president was careful to say that the protesters should be peaceful. We have had Democrats for a year cheering on. We've seen violence all over the country. We've seen riots all over the country. We've seen stores being looted, stores being firebombed, police cars being firebombed, police officers being assaulted, police officers being murdered, individual citizens being assaulted. And what did the Democrats do? They cheered it on. They celebrated. In fact, Kamala Harris, our new vice president, Kamala Harris, not only encouraged them, keep at it, keep doing more, she raised money to pay for the bail, to bail out the violent criminals.
Thank you, Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, what's the point? It's wasting our taxpayer money. We're paying for that. Well, we're sitting here, we're paying for that crap that's going on in D.C. We're paying for it. And it's like, come on, at some point, enough is enough.
You know, I wonder, what is their end game with this? I haven't quite been able to put my finger on it, other than if some of you remember that President Trump had said at one point that it's not me they're after, it's you. I'm just the face on it. And I do believe that this is a movement, that it's not going away. And what that's going to look like, I don't know. But is their end game to put enough dents or chips in the armor of this movement that people just finally say, forget it, we're done? You know, is that it? I don't know.
I don't know. I think
That's
it's
part of what Ted Cruz said. He said this isn't just about Donald Trump. They want to stomp out all the people that voted for him, the at least 74 million people that voted for him. They want to send a message to them, too, because he's not even in office anymore, and they're afraid he's going to come back. Yeah. And so also what he predicts is that in the next elections in 22 and in 24, there's going to be a huge backlash after this waste of time and money.
Right. If they can get a legal voting system, I mean, there's so much up in the air as to whether or not any of the machines are going to work. I mean, will we ever have a fair election again? That's really what I'm worried about.
And I don't even know so much about the election piece as, do we even have a constitution anymore? You know, according to the Constitution, precedent has always been, and it's written, that it is to be able to expel a sitting president from office for high crimes and misdemeanors. Number one, they can't prove high crimes and misdemeanors with what they have. Number two, he's not a sitting president. So I don't understand how you can have that many people that are elected officials in both the houses say, yes, we're going to do this, when it's totally, I don't know. Andrea, I really would like your input on this. I would really like to hear your side of it.
Well, I think Patty hit the nail on the head with them coming after all of us next. If they demonize Trump, they're demonizing us by extension. So, or anybody who supports Republicans generally, or Trump specifically, or like, what's the list? It seems like it could get really long of people that they're going to put into this category and then attack and demonize. And the more they do that to Trump, the more we see them coming for us next. And I don't like that. That's not a comfortable place to be at all.
Right. Well, but they've already kicked Republicans off of, what was it? What school was it? A big Ivy League school. They got rid of any Republican that was on the board. And they're telling people that you shouldn't hire Republicans. You should, anyone who's done anything or is affiliated with Trump, you need to get rid of those people. It's like, where's that? I mean, that's half the country. It's half the country. Do you think the left can run the country? And I want to do this quick little shout out. A lot of people say it's Democrats versus Republicans. It is not. Socialists and communists have hijacked the Democratic Party. There are some very nice Democrats out there, and I want to give a shout out to them. This is not about Democrats anymore. This is about socialists and communists who have overtaken the Democratic Party. I have friends and relatives that are Democrats, and I can't say enough.
What are they saying about this?
Well, it's hard for them to speak up. Everyone thinks it's crazy what's been going on with the government and what they've done to Donald Trump. So, and they're against abortion. They're pretty much a Republican. When you look at what their beliefs are and what our beliefs are and what the socialist beliefs are, they lean to the right. So I'm just going to put that out there, that it's not, I don't even want to say Democrats versus Republicans anymore. It's not.
I appreciate you saying that, because I think there's enough out there on both sides that are looking at this and say, okay, so what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if it would have been this kind of a thing when, let's say, Barack Obama was in office? What would the Democrats have been saying at that point? And like you just said, it's not really the Democrat Party of JFK.
It is not.
It is just not there. But the other piece of this for me is when you look at what are social media, what are the media giants doing to the voice of the conservative side of this argument? And let's put the shoe on the other foot. If it were Barack Obama's presidency and this was going on, how would the folks feel about this being done to them when they wanted to just defend what they believed in? And social media and the media have said, no, 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 you guys are nuts and you're not going to get a voice. I mean, it's scary times. I don't care who the president was. It's looking at what our Constitution is supposed to protect and our Bill of Rights, and where are we?
You know, the scary thing is I feel like we don't have adults in office because they know that he's not going to be impeached. They're not going to get enough votes. This is a circus. You move on. You've got Biden where you want him. Why aren't they moving on? And I learned that Trump offered to deploy 10,000 National Guard troops ahead of time for the inauguration and for that day at the Capitol. He offered, and they turned him down. So this is not somebody who wanted there to be a riot and who also asked people to be peaceful. But now they want to impeach him for a third time. It's like, this is juvenile, and it's a tantrum.
Yep. Well, and as far as the troop things, what I was reading, and I think I verified it for two sources, but it's been a minute since I did that. But you know, the Capitol Police, they actually report to the Capitol, which is the House and the Senate. So the argument was that the letter that was from the police department saying, please get us more, you know, more staff out here, more officers, because we know there's something brewing. We've already been alerted, and the FBI's been alerted. We need more troops here. We need something.
You know, Carmen, though, you're talking numbers, you're talking facts. This has nothing to do with the facts. This is a tantrum. So anyways, we're going to come back in just a minute after these messages with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
There's nothing more important than family. And at Prairie Rose Family Dentists, we get it. That's why we have more locations, more dentists, specialists, extended hours, pediatric clinics, and even emergency appointments, so you can always be seen. Book your appointment today at prairierosedentist.com. Prairie Rose Family Dentists. We are family.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
The experienced professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless, and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck, or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Coulter Samurai and the innovative BRT Renegade, as well as the best built, best backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. And before we go into the lighter side, I want to remind everybody, because I want you guys to win. I want somebody from our show to be watching and win $1,000.
Well,
tomorrow.
everyone can. There's going to be a winner from every show.
You can watch every show. That's right, Mary. I shouldn't be stingy with our viewers. You have 4 chances to win. That means. And these are during the time of the shows. Tomorrow, you can go ahead and contact us, and we'll enter your name in the raffle, and we'll draw it and announce the winner. $1,000. One winner, 4 chances. So don't just take 3 chances. I mean, you know, increase your odds there. Do all 4. Okay, I have something fun for the lighter side. This just happened yesterday. There was a tech-challenged attorney on a Zoom call, and some of us are tech-challenged, some are not. Andrea is our expert. And he was on a Zoom call, and he did not know how to get the filter off of his camera. Let's take a look.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take a look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the
Clearly, first world problems. I tell you what, I am here. I am here. I am not a cat. I assure you. And it's like, I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't know how to get a filter off, but Andrea, you know how to put them on and off, don't you?
I do. What I'm going to share with you, the conference call bingo.
Oh, funny.
I wonder how many that poor guy had before he was done.
Oh, dog barking. Can everyone?
Awkward silence.
Oh, that's funny.
So, Andrea, I don't even know how to use filters. I have my granddaughter once in a while does funny faces and knows how to do the filters. And
yeah, you can download them. You can set anything as your background. I have quite a few. Actually, some of my favorites are Airbnbs. Just because they look so nice and clean. Look at that. Isn't that great?
Look at that.
My living room has never looked so clean.
Wow. So, see, we are so naive, Andrea. We would think you were at home, and we'd be so impressed.
Yeah.
Well, this is my other favorite. Some days it's just, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
That's hilarious.
So when we're asking for oceans and palm trees, you could actually just give it to us, right, as a filter?
Yeah, actually. Do you want a video of oceans and palm trees?
Oh my
How are we going to know if you have a filter or you are really getting us video?
You'll kind of see my head cut out a little bit.
Yeah, you can kind of see that.
But think
about if you
the
want
modern...
to look really clean, if you do want to use virtual backgrounds, if you have a really clean background yourself, it works a little bit better. So if you'll see behind me, I've got my bookcase. That's not the greatest, but if I were to open up my white curtains and sit in front of that, it would be pretty clean and crisp.
Or you could get a green screen, right?
I could, and then I should wear a green shirt, and then I could just disappear into the background.
We'd just see your smile in your eyes, right?
Wouldn't it just be great to bring back our grandparents, you know, people who have seen this nation get built with all the technology, I mean, cars and railroads, and you know, they talk about a TV years ago, and now fast forward. I remember when I was in the first grade, and my first grade teacher said that one day you'll be able to have a computer the size of a wristwatch. And it's like, nobody could believe it. But now look at the Apple Watch. I mean, it has all come true. Back then, the computers were about 8 feet high and 4x4. And my uncle had worked at the Capitol, and he took us into the computer room, and we were just amazed by it. And then to think that a computer would fit on your wristwatch, we're living that. I think it'd be great to just bring some of our grandparents back, you know, from years ago.
I would love to show them around, but I would be disappointed to tell them that we still don't have flying cars.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I used to watch the Jetsons cartoon as a kid. I'm dating myself, and we have surpassed a lot of that technology, although George Jetson did fly to work.
Yes.
But they had, like, FaceTime.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
Yep, they did.
And
how does Hollywood know all this stuff long before the rest of us even think of it, you know? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so
I would love to have the Jetson car that packs down into a tiny little space.
Yeah.
Those
into a
space saving
briefcase.
things, and then like the miniaturized pizzas on Back to the Future, you just put it in and it rehydrates to full size.
Yep. Well, we have to go. We can think of our new inventions again, and we'll join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to enter the contest tomorrow with Ladies of Another View on Beck.